Hey everyone, Tight here. Today I'm going to talk to you about how I was able to get a job within 12 days after getting my security plus. Before going deeper in this video, I'm a big believer in you have what you say. So if you're saying I can't get a job, nobody wants me to work for them, that's exactly what you're going to have. Obviously, rejection doesn't feel well and it can hurt, but nothing anyone can do can add or take away from you. Only God can add or take away. So I say that to say, I personally do not subscribe to the hardships of other people. So I was constantly seeing the job market is hard. I can't find a job. I don't subscribe to that. I also saw people saying it's been a year. I applied to 500 jobs and I'm still jobless. I'm not trying to be condescending. I'm just very realistic. If we do the calculations on that, 500 jobs in a year, that's not a lot to me. I think that's less than the bare minimum, and that's not me trying to be rude. It's just I'm a high achiever, and I just personally, my first month would have been over 500 that I would have been applying to, but that's just me. So if you can't find a job, you're never going to find a job because you just said you can't do it. So July 5th, 2024, I got my Security Plus cert. And to celebrate that, I didn't do anything for a week after that. I would say July 15th is when I started applying for roles. And this is my key takeaway for this. You have to apply diligently. I applied 40 to 60 jobs a day, every day for about 6 days. It was short, thank God, but I was willing to do that every day until I heard something back. It's really important that you tailor your resume for the jobs that you want. I know my niche is in GRC, so I have compliance analyst. I had about 3 different resumes with different titles. Compliance analyst, compliance associate. Associate kind of means, okay, you're definitely entry level, or compliance specialist. So those were what I tailored my 3 different resume summaries and headlines to. Next, you're gonna go on Twitter and type in Aria Imagined. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name correctly, so I will just link everything and put a picture just so you guys can see who I'm talking about. She has amazing resources on how to use ChatGPT. So she is what I mainly use to formulate my resume, as well as Simone B's. I was in her program, her GovTech program, so she also shows you how to formulate your resume. I really love with Aria, everything's kind of already mapped out with her. She'll tell you, this is what you ask ChatGPT, how should I formulate my headline? Or help me with the LinkedIn summary. So everything that I felt like that I needed was what she offered, and it's free, which I think is amazing. And I just put it into ChatGPT. And I also noticed with ChatGPT, because I use it for a lot of other things, you can kind of have to humanize it a bit. So I definitely took what ChatGPT said and I just replaced certain words. Like ChatGPT uses meticulous a lot, so make sure you humanize your resume a bit so not everybody's submitting the same resume or it all sounds the same. But definitely she is my #1 resource for crafting and formulating my resume. So y'all, I think that's like the greatest tip I can give you with the resume portion. Obviously I was going to go the route of paying someone $300 to formulate my resume, but I was like, wait, they're probably using ChatGPT too to do my resume. So I'm just gonna do it for free, and having her, like, she was just an amazing resource, and it was free. So thank you, girl. Overall, I applied to 10 jobs every hour. Now, I like to do easily apply. I don't know what is up with jobs and they try to do this whole long ass application. I did easy apply, and then for every 2, like the last 2 of the 10, I would do a long application. Because doing those, it just really tires you out. So just go on LinkedIn. I went on Google Jobs. I went, like, a lot of people on Twitter post different things that I use. I used all the job boards for me to apply. The jobs are literally like, I thought, will there be a shortage? And there definitely wasn't a shortage if I was able to apply to new jobs, 40 to 50 jobs every single day. So over those couple of days, I got a lot of no's. I would say those first 5 days, a lot of, oh, we think someone else would be better, guys. And that's why it's so important that you instill in yourself that nothing that is done to you can add or take from you. Okay, I just wasn't a good fit. Or I just think about it, I wasn't a good fit, or you know, my coworkers probably would have been a mess to me. That's what I think, and that helped me get along. And I'm just like, you know, God is going to give me access to what I'm praying for. He's already aligned my path. God, no, just give it to me. So I prayed that prayer as well. Another thing that is, I think, is essential, especially if you're a newbie like me, is to link some projects in there. I just used a Google Doc form and put it at the top of my resume with my contact information. I think that's crucial, just so they can see, okay, she knows, or they know what they're doing. They have some experience with this. And I'll tell you guys what I did. So I made a business continuity, I don't know if I'm saying continuing plan from one of my family's businesses. And I linked that in my resume. And the company that I'm at now, I interviewed, my second round of interviews with the vice president, and she said, I noticed your plan and it was really good. So guys, link some projects up in there and don't half-ass it. July 21st, I got a call back from an agency, and the recruiter had reached out to me letting me know that they were interested in me, and if I could set up an interview with their manager. And I said yes. And so my interview was in 2 days. So for those 2 days, for 6 hours a day, I just interview prepped. Like, I was asking my questions about, like, what would they ask a compliance analyst? Like, what would they say to somebody who's working in GRC? So I just memorized those answers. I practiced with myself, like I said, for 6 hours. The day of my interview, oh my gosh, the house was so loud because I have, like, the kids are babies, so they're always wanting to make noise. So I went out to the car and did my interview, and my phone shut down twice because it overheated. And I ran in the house and I let my sister know, like, girl, please, I need your phone. So I got her phone, downloaded Microsoft Teams. On my way back out, I fell down the steps and twisted my ankle, y'all. I damn near limped to the car and let her know. I didn't tell her that my ankle twisted. I just let her know now that we're working together, and we laughed about it. And I just apologized profusely. But the interview went great. And she just asked me a lot of great questions that were related around compliance. And she was also very personable. So I went in very trying to be really professional. She's like, no, tell me about, so I went in like saying, oh, you know, I think I would be a great addition to your team. But she's like, no, tell me what you feel, like, what do you like to do on the weekend? Tell me more about you planning your wedding. And I was like, okay, this must be a good sign. The next day with that interview, after the interview, the recruiter had called, let me know, hey, the manager loved your energy, and she gave you a great report to the vice president of compliance, who I will be interviewing with next. And I was really, really nervous. The next day I had that interview and I was like shaking. The first thing that the vice president said to me was that her manager loved my communication style. And I could like scream because I have a hard time speaking. I don't know what it is. I don't think anybody cares about what I have to say half the time. Or like I stutter, or sometimes I feel like with how I look, sometimes people don't expect me to be smart. So I feel like I start rambling, and I know that I do ramble, so I don't know. But I did ask God before my interviews, please speak through me, Lord, because I really have a hard time speaking. And he did just that. Then one thing that stuck out to me that made me know that I had the job was, she was like, I just kind of want to show you our process, and don't tell, the manager that I did this. This is the vice president saying this, and she shared her screen with me, and she was showing me like all of, everybody's like some information about, different things. And I was like, okay, I had to have this job, because why would she do this? So the next day, the first person that I interviewed with, the manager, she called me, let me know, hey, the vice president loves you and you got it. So I just thought, so that's how I did that, how we did that. I give credit to God, guys, because to me, I feel like he does the supernatural in my life, and I just defy the odds of life. I don't know. Not that I know, but it just doesn't make sense half the time. And I would say Someone asked in my comments from the last video, and this is why I actually made this video, so I could give a great response to what was asked. And they said, you know, I have Security Plus, I haven't been able to get anything. What do you recommend, you know, besides your resume, if you feel like you can't get a breakthrough? And I felt that before. And, you know, I would say this. My brother's extremely successful, and I am a middle child. So I don't know if you guys ever heard of middle child syndrome or whatever, but I always felt really insignificant to my siblings, like my whole entire life. I always felt like, you know, they have everything going for them. Don't really have what I want. I feel like I have nothing. So that's always felt like a really common theme in my life. And I think with me getting Security Plus, you know, it shows me that God will take the least likely to accomplish so much. And with my background, I have no background in tech. I am the least likely person right now, like probably within my job, to be doing what I'm doing, but God knows that I could get it done. And my manager is so impressed with what I'm doing, and how fast I'm learning the material. So I'm the perfect person for this job. In regards to a breakthrough, I believe that obedience is key. I'm not sure what anyone's relationship is like with God, but he's the number one thing for me. I get up at 5 a.m. and I spend an hour with him before I even touch my phone. Like, it's a big deal. He is a big deal to me, because apart from him, I'm nobody. I can't do anything. I feel like you can't get your breakthrough. And question yourself, is my work ethic matching what I'm asking God to do in my life? Is my studying habits matching that 6-figure job that I want? Is like, am I intentional about what I'm giving my attention to? Yeah, I'm still praying for a big prayer. That's just something that I did, because, you know, for so long, even when I was a business owner, I would want guys like, I want 10K a month, Lord. But how can you get 10K a month if you're not showing up to your business every day? Or how can you get 10K a month if you keep canceling on people because you don't feel like going in? And if anybody feels like, you know, they are doing all those things, you know, you can't question timing. I would just say continue to be diligent. Continue, even when you're so tired, even when you're so frustrated of getting rejected, continue to apply, and something will come along. But in the meantime, don't get stagnant, and don't beat yourself up because you're not hearing anything back. Until you get that role, just take up another role that you already have experience in, and keep applying until you get it. You know, I just believe in, you know, let's keep it moving. Like, we just gotta keep it moving. It is September right now, so they have something called the September surge, where a lot of jobs are hiring. So I think now is definitely the time that you just be a beast when it comes to applying. Don't let up. Maybe start off with the easy applications, like I said, but now is the time, and I believe it lasts up until like Halloween time, so October. So that gives you a nice 60 days to really amp it up. Also find some free resources. I feel like Twitter has a lot of great people in tech, a lot of great people who formulate resumes, just a lot of great people that you can find to get you to your next level. Like, I love Simone Bees. Like, I was, like I said, guys, I was in her program. I just think she's the bomb. Honestly, she's like the GOAT to me. And I always tell people, oh yeah, she's my mentor. Like, just because I'm in her program, I think anybody could be your mentor. Like, I have a lot of mentors, people who don't even know they're like mentors to me. Just from what their tweets or their YouTube, I'm like, this is my mentor. So she's definitely one. So I saw her tweet like, y'all need to be applying to 10 jobs every day. And then this other guy, oh gosh, I think his name is Augustine. Oh Lord, I think I'm jacking his name up, y'all. I'm so bad with names. He was like, no, y'all be on TikTok for hours at a time. Make that 30. So I said, oh, thank you. I'm gonna make that 40 to 60. And like I said, that's what I did. I definitely know without Simone, without like all the people that I follow or classes that I'm in, like, I wouldn't be at my next level. Definitely not, because I didn't know where to start. So definitely, you know, you don't necessarily have to pay for mentorship, but you can follow people. Like, that's all I can say about that, guys. I'm not sure if this was a great explanation. I honestly feel like I rambled, but this is just my story about how I did it. And I can't wait to hear your stories about how you guys are going to do it too, especially when you pass Sick Plus and when you start the job search. And I'm excited for you guys. So thank you guys for tuning in, and I'll see you next week.